Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. If you look at the number up here, we are around about 207 away from 15,000 subscribers. So make sure that you do subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you. Anyway, the big breaking news this afternoon. There's big breaking news when it comes to defenders at Celtic. Obviously, we broke the news. Well, we didn't break the news this morning, but we told the news this morning of one Celtic defender being out injured. There's now breaking news that another Celtic defender could be on his way out the door. And no, it is not Cameron Carter-Vickers, because big Cameron Carter-Vickers has signed a new contract with Celtic. Cameron Carter-Vickers, Celtic says Celtic is delighted to announce that Cameron Carter-Vickers has signed a new 5.5-year deal. Another 5.5-year deal. We have been talking about that and the change of policy at Celtic, putting all our players on 5.5-year deals. It does tell you something about the change that's went on in the background of the club policy-wise that nobody's really been talking about until I picked up on it the other day. Anyway, the 26-year-old American international has been an impressive performer with Celtic since he first joined back in 2021. Initially on loan on a long-term season from Tottenham Hotspur, which became a permanent move the following year. To date, he's made 101 appearances for Celtic, scoring 5 goals, and those in his debut season. The central defender has been an integral part of the success of the club and enjoyed the past few seasons. He's picked up 5 trophies, 2 league titles and 2 league cups and a Scottish Cup as part of the historic Triumph treble. Cameron said, "I'm really delighted to sign this new contract with Celtic. I love everything about the club from the day one that I signed. I'm so pleased to be part of something really successful, something real successful. And over the last few years, and long may that continue. You always play the game to win," said Cameron. He says, "Being part of something great, winning moments with Celtic has been really big for me, a real honour. I have had a great welcome and the support from the Celtic fans ever since I came here. I well know and love the passion of the fans for the club. There is nothing better than a packed Celtic Park. I am delighted to be playing my football here. I've enjoyed working with the manager, the staff, and the teammates. I will do everything we can to bring our fans more success over the next few years." He's going nowhere. He is going nowhere. That's a big coup for Celtic. And it is, again, that change in policy, putting players on 5.5-year deals. It's quite long when you think about it in modern day terms. I've said before on the channel that usually Celtic would give players a 3-year deal. They would give players a 3-year deal and then give them an extension, the option of an extension at the end of that 3 years. So this change in tact is making sure that we secure our assets at Celtic, which for a financial point of view is fantastic, and make sure if anybody comes in for Cameron Carter-Vickers over the next year or so, they're going to have to pay top dollar for him. We're going to have to pay big bucks to get Cameron Carter-Vickers. The manager went on to say, Brendan Rodgers said, "It's great news for us all. Cameron has extended his contract with the club. He's been a rock since I joined the club, and he's played to a high standard week in, week out when he's been fit." Anyway, because he has missed the last couple of Champions League campaigns. And I did say, and so did the big man Chris Sutton, said, look, if there's going to be a good time to sell Cameron Carter-Vickers, it would have been next summer. The fact that if he hadn't signed a contract by then, but he has signed that contract, we put that one to bed. So he's not going anywhere. Manager says, "I know that Cameron loves the club, he loves the city, and Celtic fans have made him feel at home. We are delighted to have him here with us." There was a lot of talk of interest from elsewhere, and it's funny because when I was looking at the headlines for this, checking out some of the other headlines, that 3 minutes before Celtic announced it, there was a headline that went out, and it said that Cameron Carter-Vickers has been scouted by somebody else. Anyway, they've actually just took it down. Took it down right in front of my eyes. There's a shame, isn't it? That's the media for you. They'll put up one headline and they'll just take it down just as quick, which is quite funny. Anyway, another Celtic defender that looks like might be leaving Celtic is Yuki Kobayashi. Kobayashi looks like he might be going to America, as there's a couple of clubs in America who want to take him on loan. It's an interesting one. Kobayashi is wanted by 2 MLS clubs on loan, according to a report. The centre-back hasn't played 1 minute this season and is very much down the pecking order, as we all know. And when you look at it, Cameron Carter-Vickers signing that contract, you've got Rocky, you've got Liam Scales, you've got Stephen Welsh in there, and the one and only Gustav. There is ones that are going to have to go, and it looks like Kobayashi is going to get his wish. The Real Salt Lake and FC Dallas are both interested in taking the 23-year-old Japanese player stateside on loan, which would allow him to leave. He's only been at the club a year, and you've got to start questioning some of Ange. We don't, because it's in the past and we move on from it. But Ange Postecoglou did leave us with some players that just really weren't good enough for Celtic. So, with that breaking news this afternoon that Cameron Carter-Vickers has signed a new 5.5-year deal, Yuki Kobayashi looks like he could be leaving Celtic on loan if everything goes through okay before the end of the transfer window. And in even more news, it looks like Celtic are getting even closer to an agreement with one player that's come through from the B team. Yes, Rocco Vata. It's been suggested this afternoon that Celtic are now close to a deal with Rocco Vata. They've made progress over the last 48 hours, and there is an optimism inside Celtic Park that he is ready to put pen to paper. It looks like he's put everything behind him. Everyone thought he would be leaving. Brendan Rodgers obviously had a word with him during the winter shutdown. They sorted a few things out, and he got into the team last week and scoring a goal. It'll be interesting to see if he makes the bench tomorrow. I fully expect him to come on in the second half. Vata could be a new long-term 5.5-year deal. Could he get a 5-year deal just like everyone else is getting at Celtic? That'll be the one to watch, is when that deal is announced. It is expected to be announced over the next couple of days. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets announced tomorrow morning. The way that Celtic like to dominate the press, the way that they do in Scotland. Anyway, the fact that Vaka did get a shout out against Bucky Thistle in the Scottish Cup, it was just his 5th appearance in Celtic. It hasn't taken him too long to make an impact, scoring that goal last week. Tell me what you think about Vata, the turnaround in the story of Rocco Vata. Everyone thought he would be leaving the club this window because he didn't want to sign this new contract in the summer. Well, it suggested there wasn't a contract there, but it looks like he will now sign it. Cameron Carter-Vickers, 5.5-year deal. Big shout by Celtic, and Kobayashi on his way out the door. All the headlines this evening and tomorrow morning will be about the bumper deal, the big deal for Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think it's just absolutely brilliant. If you missed the video this morning, check out that. It'll be around about here somewhere. Check out that video where we talk about the team for tomorrow. And that's it for this evening. That's your Celtic news for tonight. Fantastic news as far as I'm concerned. Putting these players on long-term contracts like that does nothing. I mean, it gives you a little bit of hope that Celtic are going to start adding some real quality at some point, and they're going to put them on big contracts. What does that say to Matt O'Reilly? Matt O'Reilly's now sitting thinking, I've just signed this new long-term contract. Maybe I don't need to jump ship in the summer. Maybe if I could just get one more chance at that Champions League and then get a move the year after. Now that would be a shock to everyone around Europe, but not Celtic fans, because we are Celtic supporters, faithful through and through. And on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans all around the world.